Good evening, everyone. Okay, I like everybody to participate. Last time I did a lecture here, I was saying that every time we do it in English, people get nervous, they get shy, but I propose you to tonight, if you need to question, comment in Portuguese, just do it. I'll translate it for you here. So we all have, just because we are recording it, that's all. But the question that came up is, I am only one. What can I do? Do I have any power? Yes. Just give it a minute so people could. Does anybody needs the radio? One here. Anybody else? Alguém precisa do radinho para a tradução? Mas pelo menos trazer o radinho. Quantos? 1, 2, alguém mais? Só minutinho, por favor. So we're gonna continue slowly. If anybody needs help, if whoever is sitting on next to them can help translate. But we are going to talk tonight about what can I do, and I want you to share some of what you learn, your life experiences. Who's been part of our studies here? How many students do we have? So you all can share, right? So we all can share our knowledge. We are going to exchange experiences today. So somebody said that yes, we have power. What kind of power do we have? Is it unlimited? Yes? It's not limited by anything. It is limited. By what? Our minds? I don't have the answers, people. I'm looking for help here. Our knowledge? God? Faith? Our faith limits us? If you don't have faith, you don't have too much power. Interesting. If we don't have faith, we don't have too much power. What else? Knowledge? Do we need knowledge? Do we need... can we do anything we want? Depends. No, depends. Pardon me? We are on limit. Interesting. We limit ourselves. We determine where we stop, where we go. How much do we grow? We do. We do. Okay. So we're going to exchange some ideas, okay? Okay. This comes from a study from Carl Jung. Jung was considered one of the fathers of the psychology, modern psychology, with Freud, and he says that here, as evolution occurs, we learn in Spiritism that what's the origin of everything? What creates everything? God, right? First, what is the first questions in the Spiritist book? What's God, right? It's the primary cause of everything, right? Agree? So God creates an intelligent principle and a material principle. And from that, the spirit comes from an evolution of this intelligence, right? We have a control over matter, and we are able to create things. We're able to create bodies for us. We're able to create objects, right? But this consciousness, it starts as a collective, and it starts to individualize itself. The Hindus say that once we become humans here, at a certain point, we become individuals, right? In the human intelligence. And we see here, this is the ocean. So we see ourselves as islands separate from each other. But in reality, we are all linked, both here and here. So there's a story where an old fish finds two younger ones swimming, right, in the ocean. And the old fish asks, "Hi boys, how are you? How's the water today?" And he leaves, swims away. And then the two young fish look at each other and say, "What is water?" What is water?
Water. The environment.
The environment. What else?
Life.
Life. God. Can we be away from God? And it is power that comes from this inside the waters and outside the waters. Can we be away? Can we be away from God? It's in every cell, every atom of every molecule. Is there anything without God? Is there anything without the power of God? But then again, we are created how? All spirits are created simple and ignorant. And we go through this journey of knowledge, finding out who we are, finding out what we are, and trying to figure out where is the end? We don't even know the beginning, where is the end? So in Spiritism, we say we know the end. So we are destined to be what? Destined to be? What is our destiny? What we're going to be? No matter what, how long it takes, what are we going to be?
The same.
The same?
Equal. We're going to be equal. The same.
We're going to be the same. Okay. At the end of the day, we're going to be the same as what?
God.
As God. God is the limit. That's one theory. We say eventually we're going to become perfect. We don't say we're going to be equal as God. Right? Can we be as powerful as God? As perfect as we can be? What God would this be that we could limit somehow? But we can turn into perfect. Oh, tá funcionando o radinho. Quem precisa? Vai ficar mais confuso ainda. O inglês aqui, o inglês misturado lá, com o radinho lá. Tem mais radinho ali, ó, gente, quem precisa.
Você falando, dá uma pausazinha, aí ele fala seguida, tá certo.
So we're gonna have to be even slower. Dá para fazer um teste de ouvido, por favor, para as pessoas... Quem está traduzindo, Antônio? Vitor, dá para você fazer um teste, por favor, só para testar se estão ouvindo? Dá para ouvir? Estão ouvindo? Testando? Obrigada, Vitor. So again, we think we are living a reality that is a big illusion, isn't it? Tá ruim o som? We think we are one, divided from everybody else, away, and we cannot do anything because we are limited, we are one, and there is all the space between you and I. Is this an illusion or what? So, what else do we learn in our classes here? We talk about action and reaction all the time, don't we? Is it the same thing as in the physics, in our spiritist vision? Is it the same thing? The same force that I put here, I get the same force back? Does it work the same way? If I kill somebody today, am I going to have to be killed tomorrow to adjust that thing, that act, that action? No. It's not action and reaction in the same way and form. But we talked about we can do everything before, didn't we? We have the power to do anything. And then we see this. You are free to make whatever choice you want, but you are not free from the consequences of your choice. Who determines the consequences? Only us, no one else. How do we determine the consequences? How and when? Do I determine these consequences while I'm simple and ignorant and I don't know what I'm doing? Or do I need to grow my consciousness? Do I need to grow my knowledge? Do I need to grow my abilities to understand that that choice created a consequence? So sometimes consequences takes time to happen. Sometimes it takes lives to happen. Sometimes we are going through things in our lives that we don't understand. We can't figure out why, but somehow, in a certain choice that I made, I don't know how many years, centuries, lives ago, but at this moment, I am conscious enough to choose this consequence, go through it, because now I know and now I am strong enough. Because nothing comes, God does not give you more than you can take. In His infinite love, in her motherly love, God is always, always taking care of us. So all of a sudden I start to understand somehow that there is a reason for the madness. It could be because of a sentence that I heard, because of a song that I heard on the radio, could be a big board on the road. And it dawns on me that I made a choice and I'm going through the consequences. And I'm dealing with it the best way I can. Is this powerful or what? And then comes this letter from Paul to the Corinthians. What does he say here? Everything is permissible for me, but not everything is beneficial. When do I know this? When do I understand this, that not everything is beneficial? Is it when I was simple and ignorant? How much did I have to go through to understand this? 2,000 years? Everything is permissible for me, but I will not be mastered by anything. How many millennia will it take for us to grasp and understand this? How many lives? Does it matter how long it takes? But do I need to make some effort here? So if I'm going through a wake-up call, and a wake-up call could come as many ways. A happy moment, a new life, a passing, losing somebody that we love, losing something that we care about. But if it make us feel that we are part of something bigger, that is bringing us power. So what do you think? What do you think so far? If when Paul says, everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. In God, I can everything, right? So I have a free will. I'm free to make a choice, but not everything is good for me. How do I measure that? Ideas? In Portuguese, people. Your daily life.
When I hurt someone.
When you hear somebody. In your heart? When you hurt someone, what happens? When you hurt somebody, who are you hurting first? Before you're hurting anybody else? Myself. Why? Why is it so important to know that there's no way for us? It's just like 5 fingers, like looking at each other, thinking that they are completely independent from each other, forgetting that they are part of a bigger thing, forgetting that if they don't work together, I'm not able to grasp anything. You cannot grasp. You're missing 2 fingers? The movement, or they're numb.
So they are here, but I can't do anything with
Is it much different from one person in a group like this? And how do you work through this? Hard, but somehow the other hand helps, or
This hand is also weak, but doesn't have anything, any heart. It's not numb.
Okay. So you use the other hand that is not strong, but it can help. So it's your sensibility. You don't have the sensibility and the strength on your hand, on one of your hands. Okay. All right. So how do we get through? Somehow you've been surviving very well. Breaking everything. Breaking everything. And what do? Go on living. Do you change things that are breakable for something else?
Yeah.
For,
Still I don't.
do you ask for anybody's help?
I don't have only me. I live by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're near somebody to
Okay. But somehow we go through it and we find ways to overcome it. Great lesson. Great lesson. What else? Other examples in daily life? You're conscious. Why is it, what do we have in our own consciousness? Yeah. The laws, isn't it? There is, the universe is orderly. There's no, imagine if there was no order, complete chaos. How would it even have a body? Wouldn't all the atoms be flying? Where did we learn to keep ourselves together? Oh, way back there. These minerals. No? It's crystals. But we still think we are separate somehow. Even though we have all this knowledge together, even though we have all this air around us, we still think that what our actions does not affect the other. We still think that Nepal is too far away. Is it too far away? It happened there. It's on Facebook here. There's somebody taking pictures and posting it as it happens. Is Baltimore too far? No, it's a post away. Is your neighbor too far? Is the neighbor not coming to see you, or are you not moving opening your door to people? Are we opening ourselves enough? Are we asking for help enough? The beautiful word that we hear every day: responsibility. And in another words, it's responsibility, the ability to give a response, the ability to act instead of react. But what do we need to be responsible? Challenge. Do we become responsible if you're not challenged? If everything is done for you? No. So we need challenge. What else? Once you're challenged, knowledge. Knowledge, very important. How are you going to do something that you don't know how? How do we learn? Hands-on, reading, living an experience. How do we learn? Studying. Do we learn when we are afraid? Yes. Do we learn from our fear? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From mistakes.
From mistakes. Biggest teacher, isn't it? Nothing like, gosh, I did that again. And nothing like, I did that again, but I'm going to try again. Isn't it? What good does it do if I keep judging myself and keeping myself guilty and lowering myself? So afraid of making the same mistake. Bringing our shine out, bringing our light out, gives permission to everybody else around us to shine. Not being afraid of making mistakes because we don't know. We don't know. That's part of the game. We were created simple and ignorant. It is in there, the mistake. There's no way around it. Now, can we learn from other people's mistake? Yes. There comes our sensibility to look at the other, look at suffering around us, and learn from that. How much sensibility does it take? How many years we go through our lives not even knowing what the other person next to us is thinking? Sometimes our own spouse, our own kids. Do you really know their favorite color, their favorite food today, their favorite game? Do we really know who they are inside? It's hard because we don't know who we are. We don't really know who we are. This going in and opening to ourselves that part that is under the water, it's sometimes very painful. And it can be very creative. But accountability breeds responsibility. This accountability, knowing that you are responsible for something and you are capable of doing and making it happen, increases our responsibility. So growing up, imagine that we are a spirit. We are all spirits having a human experience. Anybody disagrees? As a spirit, if I am size 3, my capacity is size 3, and I have a problem size 4, how do I feel? Pressure, totally overwhelmed, right? But if I grow my skills and I become a spirit size 7 or 8, what turns that problem 4 into? Nothing, right? It's just life happening. So what do we have power over, the problem or ourselves? So we have to grow up. Doesn't matter if it's our skills, if it's our knowledge, if it's our feeling, our moral. That's the only way that the problems will turn into smaller challenges, and that will turn into life experiences, and I learned it, I move on. Right? So dealing with the problem outside me is not gonna solve it, will it? I gotta work in myself. I've got to learn to deal with it. And I've got to learn to overcome it. Examples, life experiences that we can share. I shared this in one of our classes, and one of them said, you know what? When I came here, I didn't speak any English. So I received a letter and I got desperate. Totally desperate. And it was just an advertisement. But I didn't understand what it was. Today that I learned the language, I can get any letter. I don't care. I'll be able to understand it, and I'll be able to deal with it. Isn't it a simple thing? And still, it made him feel very, very powerful. Exactly. What doesn't challenge you doesn't teach you. True. So staying there in the same equal warm water, does it teach you anything? So in the Spiritist book, the Gospel according to Spiritism, there is a chapter said about being perfect, and then he talks about being a good person and being a good spiritist. So, does he say that you have to be perfect? No. The true spiritists can be recognized by their moral transformation, and by what? Their efforts. So it takes some effort from us, people. Yeah, it takes hard work. They employ to dominate their bad instincts. So it's not going to fall from the sky. Yes, we have to elevate ourselves. When we say here in the prayer, let's elevate our frequency, let's reach the higher spirits, this is a practice. It's something that we have to do every day, every time. It's very easy here to stay in the sameness and in the laziness and in the afraidness, the fear, to move on. It's very easy. And now I'm going to share with you guys if anybody has any comments, any story that you want to share. Mm-hmm.
It was asked, why should I provide myself of enjoying life, do whatever I want, if everybody's going to be divine one day? If everybody's going to be pure one day?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is that because the one who falls with efforts to improve themselves in a moral manner will be happier first.
Faster.
Will leave the suffering
Mm-hmm.
behind faster. And it's very interesting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So, where is this path? There is a shorter passage. How can we get there faster? Through love. But there is a recipe. There is a recipe right there in the gospel. All Jesus' teachings is all moral. His moral teachings are shared by every religion. are shared by all consciousness. As soon as we elevate our consciousness, I mean, the message is the same, isn't it? Do upon others what? What you like done upon you. Love, share, charity. It's not, the recipe has been there for as long as, not even before Jesus. It's been in our it's been recorded in our consciousness, right? Yes, we have to find our way to the hearts and to the minds, and somehow go through this path of learning how and living how, because it's very easy as us being as spirits of light. How are you gonna know what's cold, what's hot, what is good, what is bad? You're just pure light. So you go through these processes of learning and thinking that somebody's hurting you, thinking that you are hurt. This is a big illusion from the beginning, right? You cannot be hurt. You are a spirit, divine spirit created by God. You're a spirit of light. How can you be hurt? You cannot be killed. But we go through these illusions that we are being hurt and we are hurting somebody. So what? How are you gonna learn what forgiveness is if you're not hurt? So I'm gonna share a short movie with you guys. Look, can you turn off the light for me, please? Thank you.
नहीं होगा यार।
सर आपके लिए उस पार कार का इंतजाम किया है सर। सर आइए सर। ये चल चल।
जाओ बोला क्या बात करता है, क्या ऊपर से जाएगा, क्या ऊपर से जा जा।
गया मेन शो।
I hate this country. कुछ करो ना।
अब मैं वहां जाके क्या उखाड़ लूंगा?
कैसी जाने बूंदे आई, जाने कैसा दर्द लाई, सामने क्या है ये तेरे, क्यों रुका है तू बता रे हो। तुझको पार लेगा, कौन होगा वो मसीहा, वो जिसे तू ढूंढता है, वो ही है तू वही है। तुझ में तेरा रास्ता है, तुझ में तेरा है सहारा, तू ही तुझको पार लेगा, तू ही है तेरा किनारा। तुझ में तेरा रास्ता है, तुझ में तेरा है सहारा, तू ही तुझको पार लेगा, तू ही है तेरा किनारा। जिसे ढूंढता है तू ही रे, तू ही रे, तू ही रे तेरा मसीहा हो।
Some of us inspire, some of us work, and some of us sleep through it. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much.